Too much show today. We're out of time. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Michael Bruno and Lola Zoldan. Have a good evening. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, why an area elementary school is shutting its doors and closing down.
The Columbia County Sheriff's Office shows the terror after the Didion Mill explosion.
And a lawsuit filed by Dane County blames pharmaceutical manufacturers and distributors for the nation's opioid crisis.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with News 3. An elementary school in Iowa County will not reopen in the fall, meaning this school year was its last.
The River Valley School District cites dwindling numbers of students coupled with an aging population in the area as the reason. News 3's Rose Schmidt has the story from Arena.
Arena is the second elementary school in the River Valley School District to close its doors in just 2 years. Now students and their families have to drive about 9 miles down Highway 14. Busing is one of parents' main concerns, as 1st through 4th graders will now go to River Valley Elementary School, 8.9 miles away in Spring Green. The district says the decision to close Arena was made more than 2 years ago, so it wasn't a complete shock for parents. Still, the moment is bittersweet, as the village has had a school there since the 1800s.
So over the last 2 years, we've eliminated 17 positions by closing 2 elementary buildings, and we're still maintaining our class sizes lower than most of our neighbors. Our class sizes will be in the high teens and low 20s.
Compare that to class sizes at Arena, which were around 9 or 10 students. A number of Arena's teachers will now go teach at other schools. If enrollment in this area continues to decline, the school district tells us that long-term effects could even impact the middle school and the high school level. In Arena, I'm Rose Schmidt for WISC News 3.
And the Arena Village president says the village would like to use the building to hold its offices, or a commercial business could buy the property.
It has been over a year now since the deadly explosion killed 5 people at the Didion milling plant in Cambria. A new report released by the Columbia County Sheriff's Office shows the terrifying moments after officials say faulty equipment caused corn dust to explode.
I need help right now. The whole entire thing exploded. My friend's trapped. I need help.
Where is he trapped?
In the train. We're in the train where he's crushed. I need help.
What is your phone number?
A video shows first responders racing to the scene. Dash cam video shows deputies arriving just behind volunteer paramedics. The building was still in flames. Employees still trapped in the plant calling for help. 5 people were killed, 14 others injured. Didion Milling was fined $1.8 million for the explosion. The company is appealing that fine. The plant is being rebuilt with plans to reopen in 2019.
Well, let's get a look now at your first alert weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti in the Weather Center. Gary.
Boy, the heat and humidity will kick in tomorrow and last through the weekend and probably Monday of next week. We still have alert days in the forecast for tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. We've added one from Monday as well, as high temperatures now expected to be in the upper 80s on Monday. Heat index values for Friday and Monday will be in the 90s, and there's also a chance for some stronger thunderstorms, especially late Friday afternoon, Friday night, and perhaps Monday afternoon into Monday night. Saturday and Sunday, look for high temperatures around 90 on Saturday and around 94 on Sunday. They'll be flirting with record high temperatures and heat index values in the upper 90s Saturday and around the triple digits or above on Sunday. Today, we had cloud cover for much of the day because of a cluster of storms that primarily missed Wisconsin to the south and to the west, but you can see the blow-off tops of those thunderstorms kept the sunshine at bay, and now we're just seeing the clouds starting to thin out. But the showers and storms basically now are in into western Illinois and diminishing. Some more storms are developing upstream in parts of western Minnesota. We could see those later on tonight. Low temperatures this morning started out in the middle 50s. The humidity levels are down even though the clouds started to come back in. Current temperatures are in the mid 70s here, but notice it is warmer to the north where there has been some sunshine. Dew point temperatures are still pretty comfortable, but they are starting to increase out near the Mississippi River, and the wind's starting to pick up out of the south and southeast, and that'll start bringing the moisture back in a hurry. By tomorrow morning, we'll be down to the lower to middle 60s. There is a chance for a shower or thunderstorm late tonight and tomorrow morning. Then look for variably cloudy skies tomorrow with a high of 87 and the heat index up in the 90s. Could see some storms late in the afternoon into tomorrow night. That's your first alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. Madison police are investigating an attempted homicide on the city's east side. Officers were called to the parking lot of KIPP Corporation, that's just west of Old Brook Botanical Gardens, shortly after 11 o'clock last night for a report of shots being fired. When police arrived, they didn't find any victims nor suspects, but they did find shell casings and blood on the ground. According to Madison police, a 32-year-old man arrived at the hospital with a gunshot wound not considered to be life-threatening. And police are looking for suspects of a shooting on the city's east side, another shooting that happened yesterday evening around 6 o'clock on Portage Road. Investigators say someone in a vehicle driving began shooting at a person on the sidewalk. That person then shot at the vehicle. According to Alder Samba Balde, he said that the officers found the suspected vehicle that was used in the shooting with bullet holes at a business in Sun Prairie. Balde says police did not believe anyone was injured by the gunfire. They do believe the police and the people involved were targeting each other.
Madison police say a 15-year-old girl is recovering after an accidental shooting. Officers were called to a quick trip on the east side late last night on East Buckeye Road, just off Stoughton Road. The girl was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Police say their investigation is leading them to believe the shooting was not intentional.
A Reedsburg man is facing his 6th drunken driving charge after leaving the scene of a single vehicle rollover crash. The Sauk County Sheriff's Office was called to the crash at Ferndale Road and Mirror Lake Road in the town of Delton around 10:45 last night. Officials say 39-year-old Timothy Cornier had left the scene. When they arrived, they later found him at another residence. They say he failed field sobriety test and was arrested. Cornier is facing multiple charges, including 6th OWI. Well, it's a lawsuit that's been months in the making between Dane County and some of the largest drug manufacturers.
But today, Dane County Executive Joe Parisi announced the suit has been filed. Our News 3 reporter Adam Duxter joins us with what this lawsuit could mean for the people of Dane County and how it could impact opioid abuse in our community. Adam?
Today, Joe Parisi debuted the lawsuit, which takes action against drug manufacturers like Purdue Pharma, drug distributors like Cardinal Health, and even pharmacies like CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart.
While these companies have made obscene profits, the epidemic they caused has taken a tremendous toll on our community.
This was the message today from County Executive Joe Parisi, that companies have cost, and now they will pay. Parisi says the opioid epidemic is continuing to grow in Madison, something that police officers agree with.
That wasn't happening more than 5 years ago. Now it's basically a daily thing in the city of Madison.
According to Wisconsin's prescription drug monitoring program, more than 300,000 prescriptions have been dispensed for residents of Dane County per year since 2013, even though the county is home to roughly 500,000 people. Officers like Bernie Albright say this wasn't always the case.
Well, and when you go back maybe a dozen years as a patrol officer on the street or even detective, this was not really an issue for us. You may see an occasional pharmaceutical abuse case, but nothing more than that, really.
Now Parisi wants the drug makers, distributors, and sellers to pay.
They're receiving great profit from these drugs, that we're bearing the expenses, and they also need to bear the expense of the crisis that they were largely responsible for creating.
Now, during today's press conference, Parisi didn't make it clear how much money the lawsuit could potentially bring to Dane County. Wisconsin residents might recall a 2017 lawsuit where almost 2/3 of counties in the state filed a similar suit against pharmaceutical companies. But with cases like these, there's almost no timetable to tell how long or short they could take.
Yeah, stay tuned. Adam Duxter in our news center. Adam, thank you.
A group of local veterans is recognizing Flag Day today by sharing the inspiration behind their military-themed Bucky on Parade statue. Full Fatigues Bucky is inside the Wisconsin Veterans Museum, where State Street meets the Capitol Square. It's decked out with images of combat and military life, honoring those who have served our country throughout history. The artists behind that Bucky say they wanted to incorporate every part of the military as possible.
So we have every branch, we have every gender, we have as many different parts of diversity that we saw during our times in service, as well as just making sure we included as much as we possibly could to represent as many veterans as we could.
The Bucky statues will be on display throughout Greater Madison through September 12th. The Bucky on Parade raises funds for the Madison Area Sports Commission and the Badger basketball coach Greg Gard's Guarding Against Cancer initiative.
Where in the city is the Janesville Bike Officer? The police department wants you to figure it out. It's a new program the department started this summer, really to encourage kids to exercise both their bodies and their minds. Once a week, the department will send out a clue about where the bike officer will be that day and a super secret password. You have to tell the officer to get a prize. Today, the officer rode her bike to Peace Pole in Rockport Park, and tons of kids were there to meet her.
Well, ultimately, my goal was to have kids get off their gadgets, even for an hour a week. But it turned into a goal of being able to have a positive interaction with a police officer.
At the end of the summer, all of the kids who participate will be entered into a raffle to win even more prizes.
A very special flower is in bloom at Olbrook Gardens today, and you can smell it from a mile away. The corpse flower is a rare plant that blooms once every 7 to 10 years for just over a day at most. It's named for its pungent smell, which is said to smell like rotting flesh. One young visitor had this to say about the unique flower.
Very stinky and very tall for a flower.
You said it. This is the first time that this plant, which the garden has named Mori, the Latin word for death, has bloomed since 2009. The bloom should only last until early tomorrow, according to staff. But if you want to be sure to see it, Olbrook Gardens has extended its hours until 8 o'clock tonight.
Very, very stinky.
Stinky, yes.
The Between the Waves Festival underway right now for its second year now. The event's founder hopes his festival and the conference will once again draw big crowds. Musicians, educators, and music industry leaders, many with local ties. Between the Waves, sponsored by both the city of Madison and the UW, but its founder says the event also pours a lot back into the local community. At a 4-day conference, music lovers will learn how to succeed in the ever-changing, highly competitive music industry. The hope is that events like this will not only benefit Madison this weekend, but in the future as well, funneling talent to the city and also promoting local talent elsewhere.
What we're trying to do is bring the industry here and then push folks out as well. In fact, just this last January we took about 15 people to a big trade show in LA to make connections. And this isn't only about the musicians, but this is about the business of music. We have some great businesses in town and some people interested in getting into that business. So that's what this is about.
Well, if you're a student, it'll cost you $20 to attend the festival, $89 to attend the conference.
And another local gathering is serving up a dose of nostalgia this weekend, reminiscing about UW-Madison in the 1960s. It is the Madison Reunion, a 3-day-long reunion of former students and community members. They are celebrating and commemorating Madison's cultural significance in the 60s with films, live entertainment, and panels. The reunion started today at the Memorial Union and runs until Saturday.
And coming up, still ahead on News 3 at 5, a report of the FBI's handling of the Hillary Clinton email investigation has now been released. What the report is saying about former FBI Director James Comey.
Plus, 1 year after being shot, a congressman is suiting up and returning to the field to play in the congressional baseball game.
Well, before we go, a quick check of the markets on this Thursday. The Dow loses 26, but tech stocks push the NASDAQ to a new record high close of 77.61, jumping 65 points. The S&P added 7. We'll be right back. The Department of Justice has released a long-awaited Inspector General report looking into how the FBI handled its investigation of Hillary Clinton's emails.
The report says James Comey damaged the FBI's reputation when he went public with his recommendation in the Hillary Clinton email investigation. President Trump ultimately fired the FBI director and has been critical of the agency. The watchdog report also says Comey was wrong to announce he was reopening the investigation when more emails were discovered just days before the 2016 election. The 18-month review found Comey's decision were not politically motivated.
The president was briefed on the IG report earlier today, and it reaffirmed the president's suspicions about Comey's conduct.
Comey tweeted the report's conclusions are reasonable, even though he disagrees with some of them.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had a busy day overseas meeting with leaders of South Korea, Japan, and China. The main topic, North Korean nuclear negotiations. On his first visit to China as Secretary of State, Pompeo promised that the United States will not settle for anything less than the complete removal of North Korea's nuclear arsenal.
We have made very clear that the sanctions and the economic relief that North Korea will receive will only happen after the full denuclearization, the complete denuclearization of North Korea.
Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin has invited Kim Jong-un to visit Moscow in September. Putin also said he welcomed the summit between Kim and President Trump.
Democrats and Republicans are setting their political differences aside and coming together for a good cause this evening. House Majority Whip Steve Scalise used crutches as he walked onto the playing field at Nationals Park this morning ahead of tonight's game. Scalise was fighting for his life 1 year ago today when a gunman opened fire on Republican lawmakers during practice, critically injuring the Louisiana congressman. A single bullet hit Scalise in the hip, shattering bones and causing internal injuries and severe bleeding. He's undergone nearly a dozen surgeries to repair the damage.
I think the lowest point was the first time I saw my kids. You know, it was tough for them to absorb something like this, you know, to know that your dad was shot, somebody tried to kill me.
Doctors were not sure if Scalise would walk again. Tonight he'll play second base in that game.
The National Weather Service confirms it was a tornado that ripped through northeastern Pennsylvania yesterday. 6 people reportedly were injured as a result. Officials are still assessing whether some buildings need to be demolished. Governor Tom Wolf touring damage left behind in Wilkes-Barre. Officials say the storm ripped through the Arena Hub shopping plaza and surrounding areas at about 10 last night.
A lot of damage there, but just heat in our forecast. Gary Canulty in the backyard weather patio.
Well, there also could be some chances for thunderstorms, and we'll have to watch out for the potential for severe weather. Right now, it looks like the higher threat is going to stay to our north and to our west. But let's start out by taking a look at alert days that we have in the forecast. We've added Monday into the forecast for an alert day. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. High temperatures upper 80s to the middle 90s. Heat index values into the 90s to the triple digits. There could be the potential for some strong thunderstorms late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night across southern Wisconsin, and then again perhaps late Monday into Monday night as a cold front comes through and eventually breaks the heat. But if you look at record high temperatures over the next couple of days, we're going to be flirting with them all 4 days. Tomorrow's predicted high temperature is 87. The record high is 93. Saturday, we drop the high just a tad to 90 to account for a possibility of a morning thunderstorm. Should those not occur, we're going to be back up very close to that record high of 93. Sunday's probably our best chance of hitting a record or getting close to it. Predicted high 94, the record high 95, and the record high on Monday is 99. We're looking at a high temperature of 88 degrees. On Doppler track, showers and thunderstorms moved through Iowa and into far southwestern Wisconsin this morning. Those are dying out across central Illinois, but the cloud cover they left has been with us for much of the day. The next batch of storms developing up in western Minnesota will move east-southeastward and affect perhaps parts of southern Wisconsin late tonight. The Storm Prediction Center actually now has a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms into areas, say, north of Wisconsin Dells, but the higher severe weather threat, the slight to enhanced risk, is back in western Minnesota into North Dakota. Tomorrow, a marginal risk for much of the state and a slight risk for west central Wisconsin into southern Minnesota, where another cluster of storms may form tomorrow afternoon and then reach us tomorrow evening. And then on Saturday, that severe weather threat shifts back to the north as the heat starts to build. Time lapse from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. You can see some sunshine this morning and then those clouds from from the storms in Iowa moving in. You don't see much in the way of rain there, but the clouds kept the sun away and kept our temperatures down a bit for today. The live view from the Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam in Platteville shows a little sunshine starting to work its way through the clouds. The live view from the WISC Sky Cam shows a little bit of hazy sunshine, but still mostly cloudy skies around here. And the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison also showing mostly cloudy skies, but a little sun trying to peek through. As we check out the almanac for today, the high so far 75, the low 56, and right now we're at 75 degrees. So we may see our temperature go up another degree or two with some sunshine over the next hour or two. Winds out of the south now at 13 miles per hour. Dew point temperature is still at 54, but that will start to climb. You can see temperatures are actually a little warmer to our north where there's been sunshine compared to where that mass of clouds is to our south. But on weather track, you can see that area of showers and storms moving away, and then very little in the way of clouds across much of the rest of the country. That's a growing area of heat. When the heat really builds, you see the clouds and the thunderstorms just kind of die out, and that's what we're going to expect for much of the weekend. 63 for the overnight low temperature of mostly cloudy skies. Could see another thunderstorm late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow look for a high temperature of 87 degrees. Best chances for thunderstorms will be in the morning and then again late in the afternoon. In between, mainly dry, but it will be humid. As we look at future track, you can see clouds coming back in tonight. Shower thunderstorm chance by early tomorrow morning with low temperatures in the lower 60s. Then look for high temperatures in the upper 80s for tomorrow. Maybe some storms in the afternoon, and then tomorrow night as an area of storms moves on through. A few of those could linger into Saturday morning, but then after that, the heat starts to build. We're back up close to 90 by Saturday afternoon. Rainfall amounts generally are going to be about a ½ inch to an inch of rain where the storms do occur. Southwestern Wisconsin, least likely to see heavy rainfall amounts. 7 to 10 day forecast calls for a break in the heat and humidity on Tuesday as shower and storm chances start to go away. Much of the rest of next week, pretty comfortable temperatures in the lower 80s and just slight chances for rain. First alert traffic, big delays on the Beltline again, both directions. That's the view at Todd Drive. You can see very slow traffic there. We're seeing delays eastbound beginning around Monona Drive going back to west of Verona Road. Westbound, the delays start around Todd Drive and go back to at least Park Street. 27 minutes on the commute from University Avenue to the interstate on the eastbound Beltline. 22 minutes back in the westbound direction. Down to Janesville on I-3990, it'll take you 28 minutes, 18 minutes out to Sauk City on Highway 12, and 20 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your first alert traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Ahead on News 3 at 5, the Electric Entertainment Expo happening right now in Los Angeles. How one popular style of video game is taking over the gaming world. That's after this. Welcome back. The Electronic Entertainment Expo is taking over downtown Los Angeles this week.
And the star of this year's biggest gaming event is the freestyle battle royale style game that's become a pop cultural phenomenon. Daniel Nottingham explains how Fortnite is transforming the future of video games.
In the world of gaming, there's no escaping the power of Fortnite.
If you remember a couple of years ago, Pokemon Go, this phenomenon where people were walking around the cities playing Pokemon. It's very similar to that. Okay, so grab the controller.
GameSpot's Ben Howard showed us how players quickly get addicted to the Hunger Games style format.
Jump out of the plane.
That drops 100 players on an island who battle each other until one is left standing. After a year on the market, Fortnite has 125 million players around the globe.
The key thing with Fortnite as well is it's free. I think that free model is something you're going to see other people imitate.
And it's captivating everyone from the young to first-time players.
Did it live up to the hype?
So far, yes. I can see myself playing it like all the time.
It's fun to see how you end up with 100 people on the map.
Oh my God.
And fans who can't get enough.
How often do you play Fortnite?
5 times a week.
Trying not to be left in Fortnite's shadow, rival companies are creating their own versions.
Activision and Electronic Arts, their two big games they announced this week, Battlefield and Call of Duty, have both got Battle Royale modes, which is really the type of game that Fortnite is.
Industry experts say that proves that multiplayer social gaming is the way of the future. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And listen to this. Gaming is a $40 billion industry. That's bigger than the movie industry in North America and the music or sports industry in terms of revenue. Unbelievable.
Unreal. I'll have another check of your forecast when we return. Stay with us.
Relatively cool this evening compared to what we're facing.
Well, let's take a look and see what the temperatures are across the Midwest. 75 Madison, 100 in Wichita,
well,
Kansas.
There you go.
There's the heat. There's the humidity. Dew point temperatures upper 60s and low 70s already into western Iowa. Heat index values in the 90s to triple digits to our south and west, and all of that is heading in our direction. Highs upper 80s to the middle 90s through the weekend, and then a little cooler next week, a little more tolerable.
Happy Father's Day.
Thanks.
104 in Rapid City sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Dew point's only 43.
It's low.
Dry heat.
We'll see you at 6.